Hey guys, I'm Nick,
And I'm Bree.
and we're going to show you how to use the KLANG Fabrique in-ear monitor software. The KLANG software allows you as a musician to be in charge of your own mix. You can access the controls one of two ways, either using an iPad on the platform specifically set up for us as a band, or through your own device, Apple or Android.
It's important to remember that while we can use our phones to mix during a rehearsal, it's not okay to use our phones on a Sunday morning or during an actual service time. While we know we aren't browsing the web, the congregation won't.
This brings up another great point. When using your device, please use it for mixing only. Our practice time is for practice, not for checking Facebook or Instagram.
Once you've opened the app, you'll need to connect to the Wi-Fi network to set up for our team to access our mix. Please do not share this network information as it will overload the network and cause lag for the team. Also, when you're not scheduled in the rotation, please make sure you're not connected via default settings on your device, as this will again create lag. For the network details, ask one of our sound engineers or the worship leader.
Before loading a mix, first make sure you are in personal mode. This is critical so that you don't interfere with other mixes as you adjust your own. To do this, hold down the config button for a few seconds until the menu displays and then click personal. You also need to make sure that your pack number is displayed at the top of the screen to ensure that your mix loads to your specific pack. If for some reason your pack is not selected, ask your coach to help you navigate back to your own.
The very first time you work with the KLANG software, you and your coach will establish a file for your personal use on your personal device or one of the designated iPads that are used on the stage. You will load and save from this file every week that you are scheduled. To load your mix, select your file from the drop-down Show menu. Then, click Load to view your available mix snapshots. Select one of the mixes, and then click Recall. Your mix is now loaded into your pack. Let's take a look now at the different display screens within the app and their functions. Let's start with Stage Level 1. It's located in the top left corner. This shows an aerial map of you as the user with a head, nose, and shoulder view. In this screen, make sure to activate the 3D capability by selecting 3D on the lower right-hand side of the screen.
Within this 3D mode, you can see a purple ring appear around the diagram of the user. Here you can arrange pieces of the band according to their actual location relative to you on the stage, or according to your preference.
You can easily isolate various sections of the band on the right-hand side. This will help you find them more easily, like the drums, for example.
Any instrument left within the gray shaded areas is still within the limits of stereo sound. It's not using the 3D sound. You must place the band pieces on the ring to enable that 3D sound.
Lastly, on this screen, and also on every screen within the app, is the master volume control fader. It's on the far right side. It's recommended that it be set to -6 dB or decibels when you start. This will give you some headway as you mix. Simply slide or click up or down to adjust your overall mix volume.
Click the stage button again, and now an entirely new screen appears. This is your depth plane. This is easier to hear in your mix than it is to see in this tutorial. By moving the pieces of the band to the top of the screen, you move the sound of that piece forward or up in your mix. By moving the pieces to the bottom, the sound becomes more distant or in the background of the mix. Play around with it and see how this can really help clean up the sound of your mix.
Okay, let's move on to the faders display screens. And again, we have two levels. The first level includes the display of actual faders like a traditional soundboard. Each section of the band is separated by color. The drums are yellow, vocalists are purple, and so on. To adjust, simply find the desired fader and slide it or touch it up or down. You can scroll through the faders left to right with the white bar at the bottom of your screen.
At the top of each fader is a solo and mute button. Solo will mute all of the faders except those with the solo button enabled. Mute does just that. It mutes that specific fader until it's deselected.
Let's say you've maxed out a fader in your mix. Traditionally, you would have to finagle all of the other sliders down in hopes of keeping your mix the way that you like it, while making space for the maxed out fader volume to come through your mix.
But with KLANG, you can simply click the up arrow on the fader, and the app will automatically move the other faders down simultaneously, leaving your mix intact, while continuing to boost the signal of the fader you need turned up. Let's move to the fader display screen, level 2. This display shows the sections of the band in groups for easier control. You can select a group to jump quickly to that group of faders on level 1.
Or you can solo or mute the group of instruments all at once. You can also bring up the sound of a selected group while lowering the sound of the others. The plus and minus buttons on this screen do not adjust your volume, just the balance of the selected group in comparison with the other groups. This allows your overall mix to remain the same, which is excellent for live mixing because we tend to focus on what is missing rather than what needs turned down.
At the end of the night, to save your mix, go back to the local show menu. Your mix should be selected. Click Update to save your settings as they are currently. Then, make sure your file is selected from the Show drop-down menu prior to saving. This displays blank by default, and your file needs to be selected in order to save your mix. You can then click Save, and your mix is stored for good.
That's it. You should be familiar with using the KLANG in your monitoring system. If you have questions, you can ask your coach or one of the other team members. And feel free to rewatch this video as many times as needed as you learn.